Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. With this very important caption or the quote from the Rig Veda, my dear students, today we are going to start the second part of the first chapter, that is matter in our surroundings. In our previous session, we understood the introductory part of this chapter where we came to know how philosophers thought that the the five elements, okay, which is known as what pancha tattva. So they were called as elements, and that is the entire universe is made up of that matter only. And later, when science developed, so today we go for a new way of thinking. So new ray of hope. So development will give you the scientific attitude, zeal for the what or the quest for the knowledge. So because of all these, we will come to know newer and newer what concepts in the science. So with this, I welcome you all for today's session, that is to understand the nature of matter. Okay, so every matter, how human beings have nature, in the same way matter too has nature. But in that nature, we study nature under two headings. One is physical nature of matter and the chemical nature of matter. What difference is there in physical nature of matter? So without doing any special test or the activity or the chemical experiment, we will come to know by the physical or the outside appearance its nature. Okay, color, size, texture, solubility, boiling point, maybe simple tests or the activities. But if you want to know the chemical nature of matter, we have to perform a special test, how it reacts. Okay, after the reaction, what happens, which product is formed. Okay, and after the formation of product, whether the properties are maintained or properties are lost. So all these we will come to know by or from the chemical nature of matter. So under two headings we study the nature of matter. One is physical nature of matter and the other one is chemical nature of matter. And today we are going to discuss only the first part, that is physical nature of matter. So once again I welcome you all for today's session on physical nature of matter, which is done by the simple activities or by the outside appearance. First, nature. Okay, matter is made up of particles. How to say? How to say that matter is made up of particles? Okay, now for this you have to do one small activity. Now take a beaker, okay, and fill half the beaker with water and mark the level of water. Now let us dissolve some amount, here 50 gram. Okay, so 100 ml of beaker. Okay, and up to this I have taken the water. This is the called water level mark, right? So now I have taken 50 gram of sugar. Now add this 50 gram of sugar, okay, to this 100 ml of water in the beaker, and using the glass rod you stir or you mix, okay, so that sugar dissolves in water, and this is called as what? Sugar solution. Now tell me, where is the sugar here? Where is the sugar? Sugar is not seen with our naked eyes, okay. And second point is there any change in the water level even after dissolving 50 gram of sugar in 100 ml of water? No. Then where it has gone? Where it has gone? This shows that sugar crystals, what we have taken here, 50 gram of sugar. So this sugar contains many small particles of sugar. Okay, and those particles have gone where into the water particle, where between the water particle there is a small space is there, gap is there. Okay, so in that gap they fit well, so that water level will not change, it remains constant. That means from this what we can conclude, we can conclude first point is what? Matter is made up of very small particles, tiny particles, okay, highly microscopic. And the second is what? Space between the particles of matter is there, no? So in that space, these particles will fit well so that water level will not increase. So what is the conclusion? The first conclusion about the nature of matter is what? Matter is made up of particles, okay, right. Now next is what? How small are these particles of matter? We have understood they are tiny, they are small, they are very small, they are microscopic. Okay, how small? For this we have to go for one more activity. Okay, so please take 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate and dissolve them in 100 ml of water. Okay, now after dissolving, from that you take out approximately 10 ml of the potassium permanganate solution and put into 90 ml of clear water, second beaker. Okay, then you see the color change. Take out 10 ml of this solution and put it into another 90 ml of clear water. So keep diluting, make it D here. Please make it D. So keep diluting the solution. Okay, like this, 5 to 8 times. Is the water still colored? Please see. Please see. This is what? 100 ml of water. So I have dissolved crystals of potassium permanganate. This is the color. From this I have taken 10 ml exactly. Okay. Now I added to the 90 ml of water. So 90 plus 10, 100 ml of the solution. So that means color is there, no? Though color is slightly fading, but color is there. Now from this you take 10 ml of this solution and into 90 ml of fresh water. Again color is there, but dull color, but color is there. Color will not go. From this again 10 ml you take and again add to the 90 ml of water. So what we can conclude from this activity? That means estimating how small are the particles of matter with every dilution, though the color becomes light, but still it is visible. That indicates what? Potassium permanganate is small in size, which is maintaining the color. So very few crystals of potassium permanganate is giving color to the 90 ml of water. Maybe hardly few crystals. That shows that how small are the size of the particles. So from this activity we can conclude that particles of matter are very, very small. So that's why when you go on adding 10 ml to 10 ml to another 90 ml of water, so though the color is fading, but color is there, color will not become colorless. Okay, because why? Because every small particle of potassium permanganate is purple or the pink in color, and that gives color to, that imparts color to the water. That's why water is pink in color, but color fades, but color is there. So this indicates that potassium permanganate is made up of highly small microscopic tiny particles. That means size of the particles is very, very small. That is the conclusion. Just for understanding, this is a matter. Okay, so this matter, if you go on zooming, okay, zoom it. So one small area of this matter, if you see, it is small particles are there in that. So this indicates that every matter is made up of small tiny particles. Okay, right. So what is the conclusion now? Conclusion is what? Matter is made up of particles. In other words, everything is made up of small particles. These particles which make up all the matter around us are called atoms or molecules. And for these particles, we name them as what? Atoms. Why atoms? So in the Greek literature, tomio means breakable. So opposite of tomio is what? Atomio means unbreakable or uncut or indivisible. So from the atomio, you have made it a short word atom. So atom is what? Atom is which is not breakable, which is highly small in size. Okay, tiny particle. That's why we name it as water atom. And from the atoms, when they combine, they becomes a molecule. So molecules are slightly bigger, but they too are tiny in size. So every matter is made up of small particles, and they are named as what? Atoms or molecules. What is second conclusion? The matter is made up of extremely small particles which cannot be seen even with a powerful microscope. So what we actually see is an aggregate of tiny particles. For example, even a drop of water contains 10 to the power of 21 molecules of water. That means what we see matter, no, whether it is a cloth, whether it is a paper, whether it is a stone, whether it is a water, whether it is a carbon dioxide or air. So everything, every matter is made up of small particles. It is a collection, aggregation of those particles which is giving bulk look. Okay, a glass of water, what you are taking every day, a glass of water contains millions of water molecules. A small chalk piece dot on the blackboard contains millions of atoms. Okay, they are highly small in size. That means they are highly microscopic. So today we have concluded two important nature of matter. So nature number one is what? Matter is made up of particles. Okay, and second is what? Second is how small are these particles of matter. They are highly microscopic and tiny in size. So with these two conclusions, we will wind up today's session, and in the days to come, we will go for many more nature or the properties or the characteristics of matter. So ultimately in this chapter, we will study about matter only, because the chapter name is matter in our surroundings. So till then, keep thinking. Have a nice time. Thank you, my dear students.